How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Yours truly, back again with some more Monster Hunter Generations gameplay. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be fighting the Tigrex. Now, the Tigrex is a very old monster. He's been in the game for quite some time, actually. If I'm not mistaken, he made his appearance back in Freedom Unite. I like to think so. Freedom Unite, I believe, rather. He was a flagship monster for Freedom Unite. So there we go. Flagships on flagships on flagships. We've been fighting flagships for like 4 consecutive videos. Glavenus, Zenogre, Gormagala, and here we are. More flagships to go. There's probably another one after this. I don't know. Might be. I have to look again. Regardless, Tigrex. He's one heck of a monster, guys. I mean, this guy right here, he's a handful. He's definitely a handful. Because his #1 main thing is that he will charge you, okay? He doesn't shoot fire. He doesn't shoot electricity. He doesn't shoot anything like that. I mean, he can, I guess you could say, push a rock. Because that's the motion he does. He like pushes and then a rock comes out and he can throw it at you. But his main thing is just beating you up. Okay, it's just raw beatings and just raw beatings. Okay, he's gonna do lots of damage to you and it's gonna hurt, and that's his thing. You know what I mean? Again, like I say, he doesn't shoot fireballs, anything like that, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But he does have a very, very, very good roar. By that I mean you're going to need high-grade earplugs to actually avoid it. And on top of the earplugs that you actually need to, you know, not really be affected by the effects of it, his roar actually does damage. So if you are in close proximity to a small cone area, rather, it's like a 180-degree cone, starting like right at the back of his neck, right where his shoulders are forward. If you're within that area when he roars, you're gonna get damage with a lot of damage. Okay, it hurts a lot. So if he roars, and if you can see him roar, try to either be far away or behind him, so that way you don't get hit with the roar. Because, like I said, it's very damaging, and you get to save yourself a couple of potions that way. But let's talk about his weaknesses and whatnot, because that's the main thing. A lot of people are here for that. So this guy's weakness is very similar to that of the Raytheon and the Rathalos, because its #1 weakness is thunder. Now, the #1 weakness for the Raytheon and the Rathalos aren't thunder, but their weaknesses are thunder and dragon. Same goes for this guy right here. Just imagine that the thunder and the dragon like flip-flop. But that's his weakness, thunder. So if you have any thunder, if you are rocking Kezu equipment, if you're rocking Astalos gear, Lagicris gear, whatever, bring it. You have lots of it. Or if you didn't like any of those and you do like you some Gormagala and you just fought the Gormagala, then here you go. You know what I mean? You can make you some Gormagala weapons and fight this guy with it. So it's totally fine. But that's what I will say. Come here with your favorite, okay? Your favorite out of all these weapons. All right. I can't necessarily recommend one particular weapon, because the way he moves, the way he attacks, is pretty much you're gonna go in here with whatever you're comfortable with. Now, speaking of comfortability, I will say that his armor that actually grants you earplugs and speed eating is quite good. I mean, it has, I think, 14 points of hearing, so that's just one shy, or I think it might just give you, I guess my mathematics is incorrect because I'm not very good, but it can give you high-grade earplugs, meaning you can block, now you cannot block, but you can go through any monster roar, no problem. Granted, though, like I said before, just because you go through his monster roar because you have high-grade earplugs, don't mean that if you're stuck within that small cone in front of him, that you will not get hit with that damage. You will get hit with that damage. So remember that. But speed eating is great. I mean, it allows you to actually, you know, either eat your meat or take your potions very quickly. Sometimes you run like far across the galaxy to actually take a potion because you're getting destroyed by a monster or whatever. Well, with speed eating, you can be a bit more lenient when it comes to that, because you can just like pull it out and take it right then and there. So that's a good thing. That's a plus, right? But let's talk about his weapons. His weapons, though. His weapons are actually very interesting. They're high damaging weapons. Granted, like I said before, way before, he doesn't shoot any fireballs, any lightning bolts, and nothing like that. So his weapons don't have any actual element to them. But they, like I said, have high attack, and they have really good sharpness. The affinity is pretty good on them as well. Same goes for his deviants. His deviant has practically the same things going for his weapons, whereas they have high attack, good sharpness, and a little bit of affinity here and there and whatnot. I will say, though, if you really want to get a weapon that's very good on attack and, you know, with no ill effects whatsoever, you can always totally recommend using Tigrex. I would totally recommend it. I mean, I love his stuff. I love it. I actually have been using some of his weaponry for quite some time. I've been using his greatsword, and his lance for whenever I'm just like fighting a monster. Let's say I'm playing online and they're like, yo, we gotta go fight this thing, and I don't really feel like using elements, or I can't remember what it's weak to. I'll just pull it out and go with it like that because it just does really good damage. I mean, solid stuff. But you know, let's talk about the way he moves. Let's talk about the way he moves, because this guy, he moves a lot. Obviously, he moves quite a bit. Now the Tigrex, he doesn't have too many attacks, right? He charges, he roars, he has a tail spin. He'll do this little bite thing right there. I mean, it's like him taunting. He doesn't do it often, but it's something that, you know, you can totally punish on him doing. But his normal charge, he'll do it 3 times. He'll run in one direction, turn around rather, run in another direction, turn once more, and run in the same direction rather. Whatever he feels like doing, he'll run in 3 and 3. He'll run in 3s. He'll run in 2s. He can tail spin out of any of these runs. He can. That's pretty. Actually, when you think about it, that's kind of it. He doesn't. I can say he doesn't have a lot of attacks, but he just does them a lot and often. I mean, he's relentless with it. Okay, so I will recommend this when fighting this guy. Understand what he can and cannot do. Okay, understand his patterns, because he is definitely a pattern-based monster. He will charge you a lot. Okay, he's gonna charge you a lot. Take note as to what charges that he's actually doing, so that way you know if this is the 2 charge, if it's the 1 charge, or whatever. Also, don't try and stay too far away from him, because like I said, he can push a rock at you, and that rock that he pushes, it does quite a bit of damage. Now, a huge tell in which you know if he's going to run directly at you is that before he does the run, he will angle his neck backwards and actually look at you first. That is a huge indication to where he's actually looking for you, so he's a huge indication to decide whether he's going to run at you or not. Alright, so with that being said, rather, and the fact that he doesn't have too many actual moves, but you should totally respect all of his moves. If you don't, you're gonna get bodied. Alright? Like real talk, he's just that kind of guy. But again, his armor is really good, his equipment is really good. His attacks, they're very telegraphed. Well, not really telegraphed. It has a small list of attacks, rather. It's like a train, okay? He just runs. He goes. He just gets it in, alright? So just be careful with that. If you guys remember fighting Blagonga, and you want to mix that with, like, let's say Narakuga, in the sense of, you know, the ferocity, or maybe even a bull drone mixed with, like, Narakuga in the sense of ferocity, that's kind of a decent mix. Not gonna lie. I'm not saying it's like the best, but it's a close mix. He's gonna come at you consistently over and over and over again. He is kind of healthy too, so he has a bit of health on him. So the fights could potentially be pretty long, but do not fret. Come here with all your potions and gears and things like that. But if you have a armor that actually rather has the skill of like negate stun, that'd be perfect, because this is a monster that's prone to stunning hunters and like getting that insta kill death trap thing on him. So yo, run that. But with that being said, everyone, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Oh wait, adept. Okay, just adept, and then any weapon. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just adept. Adept will, yes. Okay, I used adept. I got out of a lot of situations fighting this guy. I mean, I totally ran this great sword with adept because I was like, yo, adept would be really good. I was totally gonna actually use the lance, but I was like, wait a minute, adept great sword would be very good fighting this guy. So there you go, run you some adept. All right, guys. I mean, the less he actually hits you, the better for you. Okay, and if you can like go through some of his attacks and get the timing down and everything, you're gonna be in good hands. But regardless, it's been your boy Dak908. You all take care. Hopefully the video was enjoyable or helpful in one way or another. I'm very unprofessional, okay? I'm just gonna say this right now, I'm very unprofessional. I'm the average guy, just doing what I can to help, you know, other people who just need a little bit of help here and there. But regardless, it's been your boy, the Dig Dug himself. And as always, may the desire sensor forever be in your favor.